everybody. I hope everybody's having a really good week this week. So this week, what's popping and dropping is this. Ready? Bam. Pop-up bunny. But we're also going to make something different. There's going to be a bunny or the chicken one we're going to do today in the video. And we have a hello spring there with some carrots down the line. But look at this. We can twist the bunny and bring him out so we can take him out and play with him if we want. On the bunny, you can also take his ears that are back here and at the score line, and you can fold them down and make them lay flat this way. So the pink would be facing the bottom of your rabbit. So he could have floppy ears going this way if you wanted. So that's just an option you can have. And look at his cute little tail back here. Why don't we head over to Design Space, and I'm going to show you what comes in both files, but the file we'll be doing in the video is the chicken hatching pop-up card. So let's head over to Design Space, and I'm going to show you what comes in this file. I'll meet you over there. Okay guys, when you open the rabbit pop-up card in Design Space, this is what is going to look something like. This little basket up here is if you want your rabbit to hold a basket, and this basket down here is for the front of your card if you want a basket for your latch. Now let's hop over to chicken hatch pop-up card. And these are all the pieces you'll find in the chick hatching pop-up card. And this is the basket or the egg if you want to use for the front for your latch. And up here are the smaller basket and eggs here if you want to use that. So if you'd like to add any additional pieces to your card, why don't you go ahead and add that to your file. Don't forget to go up and name and save your file. And if you want, why don't we go ahead and get our pieces cut out, and I'll meet you at the craft table and we'll put this together. Okay guys, now that we are back at the craft table, what we can get out is our card base and our pretty pieces of paper. And we do have a lot of decorating to do on our card base this week because we're going to do our card base different than how we usually do it. So we're going to get this piece out, our pretty paper that looks like this, and then our strips of pretty paper also, because we'll be putting those in here too. All right, so I think that's everything that we need for our card base. Why don't we work our score lines here? Okay, so on our little flap right here, we can work those two score lines on our piece here, and they're, so let's go ahead and work those. And then when you're finished working it, we should have something that looks like that. And then let's work our two score lines on our card base, because we'll have a little gusset, which just gives our little pop-up more room in our card. Some extra things we are going to need for this card is you'll need one brad, two rubber bands, and some string or yarn, something to close our keep our card closed with. So when we have our little card base work, we should have a little edge that looks like that. Now to decorate our little card here, so what we can do is take our rings here and we can go ahead and glue it around our hole up here to make it look nice and pretty and to give it extra support. So why don't we go ahead and do that? And then I'm going to turn it over and put it on the back side too. Then our little strips, this one goes right at above this score line closest to the top. So it'll sit like so. And then this one will set above that, and it will line up with the curves of our piece here. So it'll sit like that. So let's go ahead and put those pieces on, and there's one for each side. So let's do that. All right, so we have that done. I'm loving these colors together. Now our flap for our closure, it's going to go on the right side of our card. You could put it on the other side too. This is just a preference that I want it on the right side. So you're just going to take your flap, and this first score line closest to us is going to be where our card base will bump up to, because we want that little gusset there on our flap too. So you'll just put a little glue on this bottom edge here and then line it up on your card base. So why don't we go ahead and do that? And there is just a smidge of an edge. You can see that there on each side of our card. So now we're to where we can put on our pretty paper. So when we put our pretty paper on, we want to put this side on closest to the flap, front and back. And then on this side, we only want to do the front because we need to put our brad on this side, and we want to cover that up with the pretty paper. So let's go ahead and put those three pieces on. Okay, so we have our three sides that we need on. So now let's get out what we're going to use for our class. On this one, I'm doing an egg because I'm doing a chicken. But on the other one, I did the basket, and the bigger basket with the hole in it and the bigger egg with the hole in it is what we'll use for the clasp. I turn my flap over and I kind of try to center it with my circle here. So I think I like mine about right there. So I'm going to guess I'm about 2 inches away from it. There's no wrong way to put this on. So because I don't have a hole in this, we need to poke a hole in it. Now, if you have a paper piercer, you could use that. I have this that picks up vinyl, and I just use the sharp end of that and go through my pieces of paper. You just want to be careful when you're doing it. You don't poke yourself. So once you got where you want your hole, just poke a little hole through it. We just need enough to get our little brad through it, which I already have my, right there's my brad. So then we're just going to feed our brad through our cardstock and our pretty paper on the front. And when you lay this down, you don't want it to be super duper tight because you won't be able to lift your piece up to spin your paper, your string around it. Here we have the egg and then the brad on this side. So now what we're going to do is put that pretty piece of paper on so we don't see that brad anymore. So why don't we go ahead and do that? So look at our pretty paper, looking all spring-like. So we can now put these guys on. So this piece will be the bottom piece, and then this piece here is going to go on top like so. And then we just kind of want to center those in place. Okay, so let's go ahead and glue those on top of each other. And guys, I don't know if you can hear my dogs or not. They decided to make it playtime in the craft room. So sorry about that. You can hear them. That's Lucy making all the commotion. The little Chiweenie. Okay, and for these two pieces, We want on the right side, the side with our flap, and this is what's going to hold our little pop-up in place. When we go to put this on, I'm going to use this edge of my pretty paper to line this up with it. So I'm going to put this edge matching up with this edge. And it doesn't have to be exact. And then this one, I'm going to put on the edge of this pretty paper. About like so. Okay. Now when we put these on, we only want to put a little glue at just at the tops and just a little at the end. So I'm going to put a little there and then a little down at this end. Because that way we can slide our little circle underneath this. And then we're just going to line it back up with the edge over here of our pretty paper. And this piece should go to the top and meet at the bottom of our card base. Now let's go ahead and do the other side. Okay, now we got that on. We can go over to this section over here. So this pretty piece I'm lining up to the edge of my card base over here, and then I'm going to put this on it like so. So let's go ahead and glue these on. So we have of our card base put together. So let's set this aside and let's get out our pieces to make our ball. I've already done one ball, and we will need the rubber bands for this. Now the ball that I did is the ball that I put yellow on both sides, which is going to be our top of our chicken. So I saved this one to show you how to put it together in case you've never put it together, but also because the pieces that's going to go on it are a little bit different. First things first, we need a pencil or something to mark on our pieces with. When we go to line our balls up, we want to make sure they're matching as far as these two top pieces here. So these two match. And then the next thing we want to look for that there is one tab on the right and one on the left. If yours lined up like this, it's perfect. We're good to go. So we're going to mark an X on this side and then an X on this side. We will not see these marks. If you lined yours up and you have the tabs lining up with each other, you just need to flip it around until it matches. Then once you have it matched, you're good to go. So now what we can do is these are the inside with the X, so that means that's going to be the part that doesn't show. So you want to fold your little tabs on these pieces on these two ends to the inside where they won't be seen. So we can work all of our score lines here at the bottom. And then once you get the bottom work, it'll look something like that. Now we can go around and work our two side tabs here. So we see how we have the flaps turned to the inside of our eggs. And we're just going to go down here and work the bottom, other side. And then once we have our little wings over here worked, we just need to go around and work all the tabs on the top. So let's do that. And then once we have this one worked, we just need to work our other one. So let's go ahead and work that one. Okay, so we have all of our tabs worked. So what we need to do is making sure we have our X to the top where we can see it. We're going to put glue on these little side wings, and then we're going to push it to the top of our yellow piece here. And then we're going to do the other side. And then we can do the same thing to our other piece over there. So why don't we go ahead and do those. Now that we have our wings glued down, we need to get our little pieces that look like this. And we're going to put glue on it, and we're going to put it over the top of our wings. And this just gives it a little extra support. And when you're putting these on, you just want to make sure you're staying within the 2 score lines. So if you can see there, you can see how we're not going outside of those score lines right there. And we can go ahead and put the other 3 on. So let's do that. Now we want to line our 2 pieces back to back. So our X's are on each side, on the outside. Our 2 tabs at the top need to be matching. And then on the sides, we need one on the right and one on the left all the way around, except for our tabs that look like this. Once you have this top tab with the hole in it lined up with each other, and we have our X's on each side, we're going to put one of the tabs down, and we're going to put glue all on that tab, and then we're going to sandwich it back together like so. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So there's my glue, and now I'm going to just push that together. Now we have that done, we can fold it over like so, and we have our nice pretty side showing with no X's. So what we're going to do now is put our yellow pieces on. We are going to choose one side. So since I have this facing towards me, this is the side I'm going to choose to put my 6 yellow pieces on. Now on this other ball, you're going to put the yellow pieces on the top and the bottom. One, this gives it support, but also two, it gives it decoration. And you could use a different shade of yellow if you wanted some contrast there. So let's go ahead and line our pieces up. Make sure we have this to the pretty side now where we have no X's. And we're going to go ahead and glue our pretty pieces of paper on top of our base here. So let's do that. Okay, now we have this top part decorated to finishing this ball up. If I was doing all the yellow, I would finish putting the yellow on and then doing this step. Now we'll need our rubber band, and we are using size 12 1 3/8 by 1/16 of an inch rubber band, and this is the perfect size for this pop-up ball. So we're going to take our rubber band and we're going to slide it through our little slit here, and when we pull it, if you listen, you'll hear it snap in place. Have our rubber band in. Our slit is to the left hand side, so we want to fold this over and work the opposite side of our slit. So the slit's over here, we're going to start on our right side. So I turn mine like so, pull this piece towards me, and I like to put my finger in between the 2 pieces here, and then I fold this piece forward and that piece forward. Then we're going to put a little glue. Don't go crazy because you don't want the glue to get on the inside on each of these tabs. And then we're going to fold these to each other and line them up as perfectly as we possibly can. And with glue, you can have a chance to move these around and line them up. So we have the next tab done, so it's looked like that. Now we're just going to move over to the next one, and we're going to do the exact same thing. Now when we turn it, we should be to our 2 tabs with the hole in the center. We're going to do the same thing as we did at the bottom. We're going to put a little glue on this and then fold them together and glue them together. So let's do that. Remember, don't get too crazy with your glue because you don't want it gushing out on the inside here. Okay, and so when you think it's dry enough, we can give it a push and we have something looking like this. Now I go in and I like to give my two pieces that I couldn't see to squeeze together, this last tab we worked on, and give it a good squeeze. Then we're going to take our rubber band that's in there already and we're going to grab it and pull it over to our other side and work it through that slit. And again, you'll hear it snap in place when you got it in there. And if you had a smaller rubber band or a bigger rubber band, this is where we would want to test it to make sure it's not too tight or too loose. You want it to be able to pop up nicely. So in the inside, that's what it's looking like. So now what we can do is squeeze this down, and then I pull the next section over and fold these two tabs into the center here and put glue on it and fold it onto each other and glue it down. This way it's easier. Your ball's not popping up everywhere. And then we'll do the next one the same exact way. So let's go ahead and do that. And then we have our nice little ball. Now, this is the fun part. I love how this turned out. So this, we're going to make sure we have our pretty yellow pieces to the top. And then on our bottom is where we are going to place these guys. And we're going to just kind of squish it down, put some glue on it, and then line it up on this, each of these pieces here. And then we can just move on to our next little section here. Now look how cute that is. So we can set this to the side here. We are done with that guy for now. And let's get our other one out that we have finished off. Let's put his face together. So it doesn't matter which one of these sections you use. You'll just choose one and for his face. For the black part of the eyes, I chose to use vinyl. For his nose, I did two orange pieces, one a little bit darker than the other. And you just kind of center them inside of each other. And there we have our little eyes done. So once you decide which little section you want to use here, we can just take a little bit of glue and the nose will go right in the center here. I don't want to put my eyes on first, I think. So I think I'm going to put my eyes about right there on each side like so. Try to line them up evenly. And then my other little piece, I'm going to, for his nose, we'll take and put it on like so. Okay, so let's put these pieces on. And for his nose, I'm just going to put just a little at the top here. So that's the only thing that will be glued on. The rest of it will hang below. And look how cute he's looking. And now we can work on this piece. So if you look, we have score lines and we can work those. Now what we'll do is take this piece, we're going to put glue on the bottom, and then we're just going to line it up on top here. And this will be the top of the shell where it looks like he broke out of the shell here. Go ahead and put some glue on that. And then once you get it glued on, then you can just kind of push these back down. this ball is going to be glued on top of this one, and we're just going to line the section up like that so they're matching. So we can go ahead, and there we have him. I think this is just so precious. So we have a few more things we need to put on our little guy, our girl. I am putting a bow tie on, and then we have his little arms to put on him also. Bow tie, I'm going to set on him right there like so. So I'll get that glued on. And now his little arms, I'm going to put on the side. So you don't have to glue his arm down all the way. You can just put some at the like top of his arm on the inside like so. Oh, there you go. There you go. And then we're going to put him on the side. I'll put mine about right there. There's no wrong place. And because of he's breaking out of the shell, his arm is going to be out a little on top of the shell, like so. Isn't that cute? And we can do the other side. Look at that deliciousness. I'm going to go finish the rest of mine up, and then I'll be back in a second to show you how I'm going to put the string on and put the bottom piece on for this one. So I'll be back in just a sec. Okay, guys, so for our string, I have about 18 inches here. And what I did was folded it in half and made it even on each end. Okay. And then I looped it through the hole like so. We're just kind of making like a slip knot. And then we're going to pull the two strings through the loop. And then we're going to pull it nice and tight. And then we will have that little slip knot right there. Then once you have it through, we can just take this in and we're going to tie a knot at the end of it. So now we should have something like that at the other end. This piece that matches our card, we are going to put him right in the center of it. So we can put some glue on the bottom of our little chicken here. And then we're going to place this on the center. I'm going to squish mine down and then try to center it here. And then give it a good rub down. That's our piece that will hold our little guy. Let's put the envelope together real quick. We have double score lines on each of these sides of our triangle. So let's work those. Okay, so I'm putting this envelope together. Two flaps will come in like so, and then this one will come up. So you can use glue or tape if you'd like. I'm just going to put some little marks here so I know where and how much glue to use. And then the same thing for this guy here. We will just put glue right. So there's our cute little envelope. And let's slide our little guy in there. Voila. And then for this side over here, what I've learned is we need to like put our fingers, our glue is nice and dry now, and put your fingers, put a pencil, something to lift it up just a little. See how it's raised compared to this one over here? I don't know if you can tell, but it's raised just a little. And we're going to do the same thing to the other side. See, now it's raised just a little. And that makes it so much easier for us to slip our little round piece in and out. So here is our finished card. Looking good. And watch how this pops. I love that. You see how that flings up so nice? Bam. And this is what he looks like from the front. And then over here, I just did some colorful eggs to go down the side here. And it says, just chicken in on you. And then, of course, we can take our little guy out so he can be played with. And then slipping back in. Voila. And then if you chose to do the rabbit, there he is. And in the file, there is a smaller basket on each one if you want your rabbit or chicken to hold a basket. You can glue that to their hand over here. But flowers in it, you can put whatever you wanted in your little basket. You can put some eggs in the basket. Totally up to you guys. What's a chicken's favorite subject to study? Economics. Guys, I want to thank you so much for stopping by and crafting with me. Don't forget to stop by next week to see what's popping and dropping. Bye.